Thank you for your time. This is Secretary General Dr. Harry Elias of the United Nations signing off, and I leave it and I yield the floor back to Ibu Lia, who can then sort out who will chair this unmoderated session, which will include questions and answers from the press as well as the NGOs. I'm sure the NGOs feel very strongly and will have a lot to say about this abandoned hope. Please stick to the facts so far that the United Nations has put out in our press report. Thank you very much. I yield back to Ibu Lia.
Thank you, Secretary General Dr. Harry Elias. Now, we'll continue with the unmoderated sessions for both issues, as the same as the previous sessions. So, for your notifications, there are some issues conveyed by the Secretary General. So, I would like to invite one of the chairmen of the unmoderated sessions to start these sessions. And also, for the notifications, press and NGO, you can give any contributions in these sessions. Chairman for the unmoderated sessions, time is yours. I yield the floor to the Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Assistant Secretary General. Now we will start our session. We will start in breakout room.
Madam Chairman, can I have the floor again?
Yes.
Can I ask the delegate from Thailand, Mexico, the United States of America, Singapore, what is going on? What is your country's position on this humanitarian disaster of 750 children? I would like to hear from the delegates.
Mrs. Chairman, may I have the floor? May I answer this question?
Yes.
We are this act is very unacceptable. We are conducting further investigation into the company of Nike to see whether this is false or a false claim or real.
I will take over the floor to the delegate of, we recognize the delegate of Thailand. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I would like to say, before I say anything, I'd like to say that our hearts go out to all of the people and the families that suffered this illegal action. I would also like to say that we are completely unaware of this illegal activity until now. And our current solution for this is to investigate and build a task force of the countries that are involved to find the person behind this act. Thank you. I yield the floor back to the Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Thailand. We recognize the delegates from United States. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Firstly, we would like to say that we are very disappointed to hear the news. And we would like to say that although we have laws called the Child Labor Act, which states that an employer who violates child labor laws is subjected to a criminal fine of up to $10,000 and additional 6 months of imprisonment if they willfully violate child labor laws for the second time. However, when it comes to news like this, we believe that we can ask a few of the survivors to identify the suspects in order for them to face strict consequences for the murder of many young innocent souls. The consequences should be as strict as a lifetime long imprisonment or death penalty. And the consequences should also be applied by the employer who have violated the laws of child labor, in this case, the factory of Nike as well. Thank you. I yield the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, Delegate of United States. We recognize the General Secretary. The floor is yours.
To the delegate from the United States of America, the problem is that your companies do not manufacture this. Your companies have a contract with other countries or companies in other third world countries where they source their products from. How are you going to solve this problem? Because from the report that I have received and shared with you, it is not Nike that employs these workers. Nike probably has a third-party company in Mexico that produces the shoes for them. And this is outside the jurisdiction of the United States of America. Could you respond, please, to these problems?
Yes, for now, it is very difficult to control, as obviously it is outside the United States of America's control. And we believe that the stricter acts should be enforced and implemented to all these other countries, third world countries, and industries that implement these these harsh child labor acts. Thank you. We yield the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, United States. Secretary General, would you like to respond?
Yes, I would. Not to respond, but I'm waiting for a response from Singapore and from Mexico itself, where this illegal factory employing child laborers. I mean, I heard the delegate from Mexico go on and on about the laws that they have. Obviously, you are not enforcing the laws as well as you think, because there are nearly 700 or 800 children that are being sent to Mexico to work in these factories. Thank you. I yield back to you, and I'm waiting for the delegate from Mexico.
Thank you, Secretary General. We noticed the Singapore. The floor is yours.
Well, this situation is illegal considering it is a murder for children, and our authorities surely have to work hard to examine the situation and arrest the ones responsible as soon as possible. I yield the floor back.
Thank you, Singapore. We recognize the press of MSNBC. The floor is yours.
As it is previously stated, Nike isn't the full employer of these children. There are some third parties. But do Nike somehow know about this condition? Will they take any responsibility for it? Well, I'm going to ask the United States about this. So can you please answer about it? Well, will Nike somehow take any responsibility as it is a company based in the US? Even though they're directly did not partake in it, they still like somehow support it in some way or form. I yield back to the floor to the chair. I yield the chair back to the chair.
Thank you, Press MSNBC. US, would you like to respond?
Yes, we would. Yes, Nike should face a lot more harsher consequences. And saying this because Nike is a very popular brand, although in spite of all the child labor acts that they implement and perform in the production of their products, and therefore we are trying our best to regulate the rules and implement the rules of Fair Labor Act towards the company, the Nike company. Thank you. We yield the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, Secretary. Thank you, US. Mexico, would you like to respond to this issue? Oh, we recognize the press of MSNBC. The floor is yours.
As you stated, you regulate this law. Is it to Nike only? Will it happen to other companies like outside the US, even if it's not US? Somehow, like the child work is capable of working inside the US factories. Will it happen to also other countries? Like I'm asking every single country here, like India, Canada, China, Malaysia, even Thailand. Like these children are from Thailand, even though child labor is allowed in Thailand, but they somehow allowed to export it to other countries like Mexico. Will any of them will make new regulation to allow to regulate these things to make sure that it doesn't happen or children were being illegally transported to other nation and countries?
Thank you.
I yield the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, press of MSNBC. To the delegate of US, would you like to respond?
Yes. We are also fully aware of many other industries and companies other than Nike, and therefore we would like to propose for the Fair Labor Act of the United States of America to be internationally spread and implemented to all the other countries that have less harsher rules in order for all the children that are under these very unfair child labor acts to be safer, obviously. Thank you. We yield the floor back to the chair.
Thank you, the United States of America. We recognize the delegate from India. The floor is yours.
Yes, so I would like to make it clear that we do allow that child labor is allowed in India, but we never ever export those kids to another country because the kids in India belongs to us, not belongs to United States or belongs to Mexico. This is ours, and this is our rules that it's only allowed in India. I don't care if it is allowed in United States or other countries, but it's in our country, not yours. Thank you. I yield the floor back.
Thank you, India. Secretary General, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Could I perhaps ask the United States to circulate the actual resolution, maybe not by a share screen, but at least to circulate the terms of the or the terms of your proposed unfair act? I'm unfamiliar with it, and I'm sure many people in the room as well, many of the delegates, are not sure what this law actually says. So perhaps if you can share it in the chat box or on a Google link, we can actually look and see at the closing session or later on during the meetings what this actual act is. I joined the delegate in India. I know I'm just a Secretary General, but I can see how different laws need to apply to different countries because of their particular social situations. So what works in America, or in this case, it didn't even work in America. What works in America may not necessarily work in Japan or India or Australia. So I would urge you to perhaps circulate your resolution and the wordings of the resolution so that we know exactly what this says. I yield the floor back to the chairperson, Lady Chairperson.
Thank you, Secretary General. To the delegate of US, would you like to respond?
Yes, we have a question. Would you like us to share the resolution to the chat box? Or would you like—
That would be helpful. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I think the envoy from UNICEF would like to be recognized, Madam Chairperson.
Okay, thank you, the delegate of US. And for UNICEF, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I would like to say two things. One, I want to condemn the Mexico without releasing no statement about this tragic issue. It seems like this issue hold no importance to you in whatsoever, whether it's economical, financial, or socially. This is just a tragic situation
Or
that needs
even
help from everybody.
ethical. I would
Yeah,
join
even
you.
ethical.
Even an ethical. I mean, at what
Yes.
level have you nothing to say, Mexico? Thank
Yeah,
you.
this is embarrassing to you as a country to state to say nothing about this issue. And second thing, I would like to appreciate the country like Thailand, United States, and the other country who are involved in this by giving the statement and condemn this issue. Thank you very much. I yield back the floor.
Thank you, and for UNICEF, to the delegate of Mexico, would you like to respond to this issue? Delegate of Mexico. Delegates of Mexico, would you like to respond?
Madam Chairman, I would like to be recognized again.
You have been recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. If that's the case, if the Mexico has no hearts of even to release a statement condemning this issue, I will propose that we should not involve Mexico in this resolution. I yield back the floor to the Madam Chairman.
Thank you, and for UNICEF. To the delegate of US, you have been recognized. The floor is yours.
We have pasted our resolution in the chat box. For the Secretary General, maybe if you would like to see our resolution.
Thank you, delegate from the United States. We will certainly be looking at it later on this morning. But coming back to the question of Mexico, there's a resolution, point of order, there's a resolution on the floor that Mexico be excluded from any further discussion. I would go further. I propose a resolution that this committee condemns the silence of Mexico on the issue of the marine vessel Abandon Hope. However, I would like to give Mexico one last chance, or any delegate from Mexico. Is there anything you would like to say before I formally propose a resolution of condemnation and ask all the countries to join to vote on this issue? I will give Mexico perhaps one last opportunity to say something, after which I will propose that we vote on a resolution.
Thank you, Secretary General. To the delegate of Mexico, would you like to respond to this issue? Delegate of Mexico, would you like to respond to this issue? Delegates of Mexico, would you like to respond to this issue? Okay, seems like Mexico isn't responding. Before we end this session, is there any last statement or response? NGO Save the Children, the floor is yours.
Right, thank you. Well, I was critically wondering, before the shipment in any areas was involved, has anyone from the company or the harbor itself checked the cargo and the inside of the ship? Because for me, checking shipment is such a basic act and procedure to act before shipping everywhere. Checking before leaving the harbor, especially if a container was on board, the NGO of Save the Children would strongly recommend checking all the ships and the insides before leaving the harbor and where the area of the place started to ship. Thank you. I yield the floor back.
Thank you, NGO Save the Children. Any responses, Secretary General? The floor is yours.
Thank you. I think you raised a good point. The the NGO raises a good point, which I join, which is why I would like also to hear from Singapore on how this could have happened, because it is a Singapore registered ship and therefore under the jurisdiction of Singapore. And I'm still waiting for Mexico. Thank you. I yield back to the chairman.
Thank you, Secretary General. Anybody would like to respond?
Yeah, I do.
We noticed the envoy UNICEF. The floor is yours.
Okay, to add to the issue of the checking the cargo and the inside the cargo, can I also raise the issue of the Thailand as well? Because it is found in the Thailand and Cambodia border. Is there any check happening in the Thailand border? What's going on? I request a response from delegate from Thailand. Thank you.
Thank you, and for UNICEF. For Thailand, would you like to respond?
Yes, like we said, our children were adopted in the Thai-Cambodian border. In our power, if we knew that the children were being taken from the country, we would hold a stand and stop this problem immediately, because it was our 750 children. Thank you. I give the floor back.
Thank you, Thailand. We are closing on a time limit.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
since we are closing on the time limit, would you like to close the session?
Yes.
Point of order, Madam Chairperson. I have proposed 2 resolutions to be voted on, and I will ask any of the countries, would one of the countries like to join me as to support, to agree to these motions? Can I have a second? Can I have a proposer for this motion?
Yes.
Who is it? Who is that joining me to propose the motion?
Maybe US and Thailand.
I don't know. Are they? Can you unmute yourself, please? Can I have a proposer for this motion? Can I have a proposer for motion 1? Yes, United States, would you like to propose motion 1? I have no powers to propose motion. I'm only the Secretary General.
Yeah, we're proposing a resolution.
Okay, is it a separate resolution, or are you proposing the resolution text that is in the chat box?
The resolution text.
Okay, so would you propose both the resolutions, resolution 1 and resolution 2?
Please wait, sir. Let me read the
Sure.
resolution.
Can I also have a seconder for resolution 1? Okay, we do each resolution separately. Yes, China, would you like to propose a resolution?
Yeah, we would agree to the proposal.
Okay, thank you. So you propose a resolution. Thank you. So resolution 1 is proposed by China. Resolution 2 proposed by China. United States, would you like to second the proposal?
Yes, we would like to propose for the second resolution.
Or you like to propose for the second resolution? Would you second the resolution 1? I need a proposer and a seconder for each resolution.
Sorry, we would not like to propose. We would like to second the resolution number 2.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Madam Chairman, resolution 1 is proposed by China and seconded by the United States of America. Resolution 2 is proposed by China and seconded by the United States of America. I propose that we take a roll call to vote either yes or no on these two resolutions. I yield the floor back to you, Lady Chairperson.
Thank you, Secretary General. We would like to vote for the resolution. So
I would suggest voting by roll call. That means you call the country and then the country say agree or disagree. And then you take a tally.
okay. For Australia, do you agree or disagree?
Agree.
China, Canada, would you agree or disagree? Canada,
Agree.
India, would you agree or disagree?
We agree.
Indonesia, would you like to agree or disagree?
We agree.
Japan, would you like to agree or disagree?
We agree.
Mexico, would you like to agree or disagree? Mexico?
I take it that Mexico abstains and refuses to vote.
Oh, okay. Malaysia, would you like to agree or disagree?
Agreed.
Philippines, would you like to agree or disagree? Philippines? Philippines, would you like to agree or disagree? Since Philippines is not responding, South Korea, are you agreeing or disagree?
We agree, I mean.
Thank you. Singapore, would you agree or disagree?
We agree.
Thailand, would you agree or disagree?
We agree.
Vietnam, would you agree or disagree?
We agree.
That's all for the voting. Let's close this session.
Hello, you haven't given us
yeah.
Lady Chairperson, what's the result? How many
Yes,
for, how many abstentions? Is the resolution carried or defeated? Go ahead.
The resolution is carried.
By how many votes for, how many votes abstain, how many against?
11 votes and 0 abstain.
Okay, you say 11 for and 2 abstentions. The vote is carried. The resolution is carried, sorry.
Resolution is carried.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chairperson. All right, if you are done, thank you very much. A round of applause to the chairperson of this unmoderated session. I hope you were engaged. I see many of you were engaged. Some of you not even interested. Well, it's a reflection of you. It's not a reflection of the activity, right? But thank you. We had a very good, robust session. So this afternoon, we'll now take a break. I suppose we are ahead of time, Mr. Eric. So what do you propose we do? Shall we take a break and come back and do the closing and finish? I don't know. We are ahead of time.